If ever any of you have ever had a day that you just went, I should have stayed in bed today, this was mine. Well, hi everyone, this is DearMamaSal back again, and I just wanted to tell you what happened to me today. I actually got up in a great mood today, and I was really functioning well. You know, I did stuff around the house, and I got things moving and going, and just needed to get ready to go and do the fun things that I was going to do. I was going to do some stuff on my silhouette machine. For those of you who know, I've been making the mugs, and I wanted to take the next step on one of them, which was great and very exciting and creative and, you know, awesome. So I thought, gosh, while I'm doing that, why don't I also videotape that, because it'll be another segment in that series. Sounded like a great idea at the time. And in fact, I did videotape the whole of it. It took me probably well over an hour of video because I was doing different sorts of things. And then when I went to go and edit it, the camera was totally wrong in all the shots. I know what you're saying. Why didn't you check that first? Well, I thought it was working well, and it wasn't. And so I had literally an hour's worth of footage that I basically had to scrap. After I tried for about an hour to make sense of it all and make it look like a video, and I couldn't. And I went, you know, I just got to stop. So I realized I was getting pretty frustrated at that point. So I thought maybe the best thing is not to try and put another video down of the same thing. I think what I'm going to do is handle the next thing on my list, which happened to be a little discussion with Amazon. And some of you know the story where two things are going on with me in Amazon at the moment. Number one is I'm trying to get the affiliate marketing program set up for the YouTube channels. And then the other one was something that happened to me personally. So I thought I'd take the business side first, and I tried to get hold of somebody who could help me. Now, just so you can understand, in order to do this, I've had to have one Amazon account in the States and one in Canada, and probably eventually one in England as well. But for some reason, things are not connecting the way they should, and it's not working properly. So all I needed was somebody who understood how this lot worked and to help me. Well, you understand, I'd started off not being the calmest of people, but I took a deep breath and thought, another thing to do. Start all over again. So I just got myself grounded and made the call. Well, it went something like this. I started off with Amazon.com, and I managed to get to somebody who obviously, like myself, was English as a second language. And unlike myself, they did not speak very methodically. When I say methodically, they didn't enunciate well, it would be the word. And have you noticed, there seems to be this group of people that think if they speak louder and faster, you will understand better. And I don't know about you, but it drives me insane. I am also English as a second language, but golly gee. I must have learnt it at a different school. So I managed to hang in long enough for the first person to tell me that actually I need to be speaking to the Canadians. Okay. So then I found the Canadians, and when I got to the Canadian side of Amazon, I also had to repeat everything I'd already told them in terms of who I was so they could verify me. That, you know, takes about 5 minutes. And then the problem, which took another 5 minutes. And then after about half an hour, I get told, well, actually, you got the wrong people. Mm-hmm. Really? Why couldn't you have said that at the beginning, I thought, but I didn't say it. So they put me back to number 3. I'm not joking when I tell you I ended up with 5 different people before I eventually, and I think an hour and a half later, I eventually got to somebody called Isabel. And Isabel had a sense of humor, was articulate, very knowledgeable, and extremely aware of my frustration. She was a delight. And she totally understood why I was going insane. And I'm decent enough to explain, before we start, you just need to know this is my experience so far today. And she helped me step by step go all the way through what was going wrong. But it wasn't my fault, which was awesome. So, well, it wasn't, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so the main thing is I've now found out what I need to do to solve part of the problem and what they did to solve the other part of the problem. Yay! But here I am. It is now 7:15. I started this process just, I think, about 2:30. And I then got to the point where I don't have video for tonight. So I better sit down and talk about this. So I was thinking about the fact that what had my plan been for today? Well, my plan was to start talking to you a little bit about anxiety. I guess life gave me some just so that I could relate. So now, the good news is, I realized that I could have quit very early on. I could have just gone really ballistic and slammed the phone down and not continued, and not insisted on going to the next person that I needed to speak to, and not hanging in there until I found somebody who could solve my problem. And yes, it did take a whole afternoon that I was amazed at. But the good news was that I got the problem solved. I really feel like I took a major step forward. Now, in terms of what I was doing on the creative side, I learned a big lesson. Next time I will triple check the camera angles before I start pressing record. It was really a multitude of errors. But the funny thing is, I thought, well, never mind. I've got some footage that I never did actually put up, that I could put up this evening. I could go and get some other footage that I had. I couldn't find it. And I went, hey, apparently I meant to talk about anxiety. So for all of you who know about anxiety and are struggling with it, do you understand from this point onwards what I do with the rest of my evening is really going to change my life? I could be so angry at Amazon. I could be so angry at all the people I spoke to that just didn't get what I was trying to explain. Or I could realize that I did a great job of hanging in there until I got hold of Isabel, who listened and understood my problem. And by the way, Isabel was so helpful that right at the end, after I'd sorted out the business side of it, I actually mentioned to her the toilet paper problem. And for those of you who haven't heard this, I managed to order some toilet paper online, amongst other things. And the toilet paper was valued at $18.86. And Amazon split up the order and charged me $55 for shipping on toilet paper worth less than $20. So I mentioned this to Isabel and said, is there anything I can do about that? And I haven't got that side of it fixed yet, but we're working on it. So everybody, this is about some days you are the fly and some days you are the windshield. I had an afternoon of being the windshield. I was getting hit at all sorts of different angles. But the good news is I'm still here. I still have a sense of humor. I'm going to go and get myself some food cooking while this video starts to process and do all these funny things. The video will be late, but you guys will forgive me for that. And you know something? Really, I managed to take a major thing on my to-do list that's been really concerning me for quite some time, and I think I've got it solved. Whew. So sometimes you just need to push yourself through the difficulty. Was I getting very anxious in the middle of it? Yes. Did I have to really concentrate on staying in the present? You know, not getting off into some tangent and this is not fair and this is da-da-da-da, all those things that you know you're inclined to go to. Well, no, it wasn't fair and it wasn't right and it wasn't all sorts of things, but if I wanted it fixed, I needed to hang in there until I found somebody I could talk to. And I did. I'm so proud of myself. I'm going to go and get some dinner now. Have fun. Bye-bye for now.